Well, this is the last thing. O.J. Simpson. It came out today.
He,
He done passed on. He
he's
passed
dead,
last year.
and Rod Goldman's estate's trying to get money.
Well, no, 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 no. It says actually the Simpson estate accepted $58 million claim from Fred Goldman.
Yeah, in
So
other words, claim, so what? Now that means OJ's two daughters won't get any money that otherwise would go to them because Goldman, who was a pervert hanging around with Nicole, who owed every drug dealer in West Hollywood, California, a whole lot of money. And by the way, OJ was acquitted, and the reason that everybody thinks he did wrong was because of a sleazy somebody who was trying to break into Hollywood, and her name was Nancy Grace, who misreported and lied about what was going on during the course of the trial. And people were at that time relying on their reporters as being possessed of integrity, which she does not. So that's one
let
of the
me
reasons
let me
everybody.
read this real quick. The father of Ron Goldman is closer to getting some money from O.J. Simpson, though it won't be the millions awarded by a jury decades ago when the late football and movie star was found liable for the young man's fatal stabbing. Simpson's estate has accepted a $58 million claim from Fred Goldman, an amount that far exceeds its assets. It won't be 58 million plus interest. It would be a voluntary payment. That's the point, the estate executor said on Monday. The estate executor said he's still hoping to round up 500,000 to 1 million in total assets. O.J. Simpson, he passed away. He died of prostate cancer in 2024 at the age of 76, and he was found not guilty in a 1994 knife slaying of his ex-wife Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman. Um, but
By the way, since I saw the evidence in the evidence room and my brother was brought in by the state as an expert in knife killing and talking to some other witnesses, it was two people that did that, not one, and OJ was not one of the people. His civil defense team was no way, no how on par with his criminal defense team, essentially because he'd run out of funds. And it is what it is. And as I just got through saying, America thinks he did something wrong because of that sleazeball, Nancy Grace, who lied about what was going on in the court so she could break into Hollywood.
so it says LaVerge, he is the estate is no LaVerge. I think that's the attorney. So O.J. Simpson's state executor accepted the claim of $58 million, according to court documents filed Friday in Clark County, Nevada, but not 117 million, the figure that was sought. Accepting a claim signals there won't be any time consuming litigation over it. Fred Goldman's attorney said the estate has accepted the claim as valid, but it does not constitute payment. We will continue to closely monitor the probate proceedings. Um, so,
You know what? It would read more accurately if a $58 million claim was delivered to the OJ estate and they said they would not contest the amount, but that there was in.
honestly, why didn't they just say that? Because that makes sense. That's
I
exactly
know
what
that
it is.
it's piss poor reporting. They don't know
And
shit
I'm reading
about
it
what
as
they're
it
doing.
is. So it's like, if it sounds crazy, I sound crazy. I'm reading as it. Just say
I
that.
know
They're not
you
going to.
are. That's
They're
why
not
I
going
was
to.
interjecting. It's just bullshit reporting. In other words, incompetence. You don't need to know what you're doing when you do it.
So basically, his estate saying we're not going to contest it, but that doesn't mean we're going to pay you.
It's just here. You delivered us a $58 million claim. We said we weren't going to contest. We don't know if there's anywhere near enough money to pay any much out. But yeah, okay, we'll work with you.
I
And
have a
meanwhile, his two children and his grandchildren don't get anything.
And I have another question real quick. His father, Fred Goldman, like, dude, you saying that you constantly want this man, you wanted this man to pay you over decades, and it's not justice because he was found not guilty. It's been a whole bunch of documentary and evidence that came out after that to concur he was not the killer. So why do you want these millions? See, people are,
People are greedy.
yes, and that was your son. That's some shit that him and that girl Nicole was into, but you
They
just
weren't
want,
into anything. He wasn't of that persuasion. Nicole
he was just caught up at the wrong
allegedly
place
had
at the wrong
some
time.
interesting associates, and there were allegedly a whole lot of drug transactions, and allegedly she was a good source for good drugs.
So he got caught up wrong place, wrong time with the
Wrong
wrong
place,
bitch,
wrong time.
wrong hoe.
Yeah. And in the blood on the scene, there are two sets of footprints. One's a size 9 and one's a 10 and a half. And OJ wore a size 12. If it does not fit, you must acquit. Richard Zuckerwar was the guy that made the gloves. I used to ski with him, and he took a hand tracing. Furman has a size L. The glove was a size L. OJ's hand is a size 2XL. So that's why Johnny Cochran, when I somewhere still have his cell phone number, we used to talk. I've known him for, would know, have known him for 60 years. He's dead now, of course. Um, if you
Well,
does not fit, you must acquit. They knew it didn't fit. Also, 10 cc's of his blood was supposed to be given to his defense team for independent analysis. It turned up missing, and then it turned out to have been brought back to the scene and planted as evidence. All kinds of things. The people that towed the Bronco said there was no blood in it when they transported it, but 11 days later, when they were going to take it to the crime lab, it was covered in blood. The person that did the fatal stabbing was a left handed person who was expert enough to kill Nicole and Simpson, Rod Goldman, with the same blow through the aorta into the two upper chambers of the heart, a left handed person. And then after they were killed, their throats were slit from ear to ear and tongues pulled out with a pair of pliers. That's a Columbia necktie. That is not OJ.
mhm.
So, I mean, basically, the jury stayed out 30 minutes because, in spite of all the hoopla, there was no evidence to hook OJ up. Nancy Grace said there was devastating DNA evidence, but the expert who was the third DNA expert to testify and train the other two, said they were poor students in his class. He said there were 95,000 other people in the LA area that could have donated a similar sample that got analyzed, and this was definitely not OJ, just someone similar who had ancestry, let's see, quote, from the northeast Mediterranean area or from the island of Sicily, and also testifying during the course of the trial outside the presence of the jury were two people in a federal witness protection program who indicated that they thought the homicide was a message to them to keep their mouth shut. Why? Because they dated two of Nicole's sisters.